Hi, my name is Robert Thornton. Making this video here for you today to ask your help. There's so many people across the world and across this country that suffer needlessly every single day of the year. And what I'm talking about is, there's TBI patients, terminal brain injury patients, and stroke patients. And when they have these injuries and strokes, it debilitates them. I mean, their whole affected side, the brain sort of just forgets how to work everything. So they have to relearn everything all over again. Well, my girlfriend had a stroke last April, and she was just, I can't even begin to explain the pain that she was in, except for the fact that about every 4 hours they were giving her Oxycontins. Okay, and most of her rehabilitation was dependent on her not being in pain. So she went through all the rehab treatments, and she got good rehab, don't get me wrong, but they couldn't do a lot because of the shoulder subluxation that she ended up with. And what it does is the brain forgets how to hold the shoulder in place, and it drops down, pinching all the nerves. You got to figure all the nerves for this shoulder go through that joint into the hand and everything. And like I said, it was just causing her, she was crying all day long because of the pain. She couldn't sleep, she couldn't eat, she couldn't function, she wanted to get better, but she couldn't move. Even walking, they were trying to work her legs and stuff, but every movement of the body would make this shoulder joint move. Well, I kept asking them, I was watching the therapist, and they'd take the arm and they'd put it up in the position where it needed to be with her and her back, and the pain would go away. And I asked them about a sling that would hold that in place so that she could get to be out of pain and she could do all of her therapies. Well, they said none existed, and or at least none that they would recommend, because most of them caused one way or another more problems than they solved. And well, I went on the internet and I searched around, and every sling that I found, they wouldn't put it on her. So once she got out of the rehab center and they had her in our house, we had therapists coming almost every day working with her. And I kept asking them, I says, well, what about a sling? And they gave me the same answers that everybody else had been telling me, that there wasn't any out there. And so I started making one. And with their help, I'd make one, and they'd look at it and tell me what was wrong with it, where it needed to be moved here or there, where the pressure points needed to be, how tight it needed to be here and there, and what things to look out for, like restricting blood flow because if the cuff was too tight, putting stress on the shoulder and the neck. Like a lot of them will support the bad arm on the muscle on top of the bad arm, and that's the muscle that you're trying to get to work again. And the weight of it will be supported from there. Some of them have hard cuffs in the hand. There's just a lot of reasons why none of them worked out there. Well, I started making them, and I made one that they really, really liked, and they helped me tweak it and improve it and all that stuff. And basically, when I put it on Sharon, within 2 weeks, she was no longer on any pain medication, first off, which was just wonderful. Okay, long story short, Sharon's recovery was remarkable from that point forward. She could get all the therapy she needed. She could actually perform, they're trying to teach her how to walk and all this, and she can do it without the pain. She actually got therapy on her arm. They could move it and stretch it and actually start getting muscle tone back, and it was just amazing. Even within the first 2 weeks, the doctors or therapists, everybody was going nuts over this sling. And they basically told me I needed to get it out there to the rest of the world because there's so many people that need it. The AMA says that every year there's 700,000 people in the United States alone that have a stroke, and that's not including TBI patients and other applications for this sling. Well, with all the doctors and therapists telling me that I need to patent this and get it out to the world, first thing I did was started to patent. I'm right now utility patent pending, okay, which allows me to market them and sell them and get them out to the world of. And I figured I'd just try to keep the cost as low as I could so that people can afford them, because I know that most stroke patients, first thing that happens, they lose their job because they're had a stroke, and they lose their insurance, and usually their spouse or loved one, a lot of times they lose their job and their insurance, and money gets really tight after having a stroke. And even at the low prices that I had set them at, it was like 89 bucks. a lot of people couldn't afford it. So what I started doing is donating them, and I've already donated over 200 of them around the world. I mean, they're in many countries, and they're all over the United States. And as I found people that needed one and couldn't afford one, the first thing I would do is donate one to their rehab center that they're associated with and working with, so they have the opportunity to get it on. Plus, it would also get to share it with the next patient that comes along. But I found there's still a lot of people that their insurance, like I said, they didn't have, their insurance got dropped or whatever, and if they're on Medicaid, you only get so many therapist visits, and they're sort of post-therapy, you know, their therapy's already gone, but they still need the benefits of one of these slings because they're still in pain, and as soon as they put it on pain, you know, it helps them take the pain away. So I'm trying to work on a campaign. That's why I came to you for your assistance, because right now I've donated as many as I can, and I'm running out of funds. And what I really need to do is I need to get it so that the FDA approves it, and so that Medicaid and all that will accept it and pay for it, because once they do that, everybody that needs one will have one. But that's going to take years, to be honest, and it's going to cost a few bucks. And we all, until that time, there's so many people, I mean 700,000 a year minimum, that need this thing. I don't think they should have to wait for the red tape for 2 years. And so until we get all the approval, I'm asking your help in donating to get these slings to people that need them. You know, I have a list already compiled up that they're backing up of people that just can't afford one but need one, and with your donation and your help, we can get one to them, and we can get the word spread out that there is help out there for people who are suffering from this.